I warrior salute to everybody. This is Captain Subbu, a warrior entrepreneur coach, and extremely happy having a conversation with the planning coach Grenwell. Okay, I just recall a story that I read when I was a childhood in the school that Gautama Buddha, one lady approached Gautama Buddha, okay, saying that her son died and she wants her son to revive, requesting Gautama Buddha. And all of us know that he sent that lady to get alms from any one of the houses where there was no tragedy. Okay. She thought very happily, okay, I will find some house. Went to the street, the village, the towns, everywhere, but nothing was found. That clearly shows that nobody is there without a problem. Okay. And the best part was, or the worst part was, that lady uh, never got her problem solved. But today, with the modern technology, we are lucky that we have our planning coach. He is ready to help us out solving our problem. That is more important than every problem as a solution. Okay, and I was very happy to know that I'm having a conversation with Gren that he is trying to close three problems which we may face in the business. Gren, it's nice. Good evening and welcome to our conversation. Uh, can you throw some light on some enlightenment like Buddha on this problem solving in the business?
Great, Captain. Good evening, Captain, and good evening to everybody who's viewing this video live, as well as those who would view the video recording as well. Uh, Again, I cannot compare myself to Gautam Buddha because he's the Almighty, but the business planning by itself is a tool to help businesses get better. That is the main central focus of business planning. So, by virtue of being a problem solving mechanism, it addresses various issues in different organizations in different ways, as well as different facets of the business. So business planning luckily touches every facet of the business. So in some way or the other, it helps out solve problems in all the departments and all the facets. So, but I am going to focus on the top three, which I feel are the most important for a business and how I have used it actually in my implementation in the years that have gone by. So the first and foremost, which I think that business planning is very effective, is with giving information to the business owner. Because the business owner is on top, right? He has so many things going on at any moment of time. So when he wants to take a decision, the biggest problem he has is the accuracy of the information he's receiving. So when he wants to take a decision, he wants to know how much risk is there, how much of information he can depend on, and he can take a calculated risk. So that is the foremost requirement of every business. And the risk of success or failure depends on the quality of information that you get. So business planning, as it says, is a planning mechanism. So we start with collecting a forecast from the market that gives us a certain level of assurance that this is what the market wants. Okay, we take that information from them. We take the feedback of what is happening with the competition. We take feedback of what is happening with our own earlier month sales. We also take information from our marketing department saying what campaigns they are running, where there could possibly be an increase in sale or reduction in sale. We also keep talking about the momentum of the business. How is the business trend going? Is the trend on an upward trend? Is the trend on a downward trend? So there are different aspects we give information to a business owner, which would help him clearly make decisions with less amount of risk. So that, in my opinion, is the foremost role that business planning plays. And the biggest problem we solve is giving the information to the business owners to make informed decisions. Now, I'll take an example. In my earlier organization, we used to run the business on a 6-month cycle. We'll run the forecast for 6 months and compare it to the supply we are predicting for 6 months. By doing this, we were able to see that 6 months down the line, we were expecting to have a shortage of supply, that there would be such a high demand. It was going to be the peak part of the year, and we were not going to be having enough supply to serve the 100% of the demand. So we said a good way of approaching this is to tell the customer we're increasing the price, right? Now, initially, what would happen when you increase the price? Customer will go to competition and try to source product, right? He will say, okay, you are giving a higher price, I will try to find a cheaper supply. But when we knew that the overall market supply is going to be low, automatically the customer will come back because we are more reliable supplier to them. So as a virtue of this, we were able to actually capitalize on that opportunity, and we made close to $3 million in a period of 3 months time. We raised the price 4 times in 3 months. As you would know, you're an entrepreneur too. I mean, establishing a price is a difficult thing, but raising a price is the most difficult part of doing any business. Yeah, once you've established a price, it takes a very lot of effort and concerted focus to get you to the next price level. So in a short period of 3 months, we were able to effectively implement the price increase and maintain the sale during that period of time. That was the effectiveness of getting the right information, and way ahead of time by predictive forecasting, we were able to estimate that this is going to be the situation. We started building up towards the problem and addressed it in a way that the customer was happy that we were giving them product when there was a shortage of supply. He was actually paying more for it than what he would have paid normally, and he was very happy. So we never told him the product is not there. We told him product is there, but you need to pay this amount of price. So whoever paid that price got the product first. So we fixed 3 problems. One is the lack of supply. We got a higher profit, and they kept the customer also happy, which is the ultimate balance you can have in any business. So that is the way you could effectively use business planning to make proper informed decisions, weighing the risk versus return, and implement your business plan, whatever is there, properly, and also make high profits.
That's really awesome. I found 3 important concepts from this the few minutes of your conversation. One is not taking just risk, taking a calculated risk. That is one real that every entrepreneur must know, that you have to take risk, but it should be a calculated one. The second thing is that effective utilization of the available resources. In your case, as you said in your previous company, you said there is a shortage of the supply. So you have effectively utilized that available resources, adding the cost price to that, and you achieved whatever the target you wanted. That's awesome concept. And yeah, now probably you can throw some light on the second problem that.
Okay, so as I said, so the first is to help people have information and make decisions, right? The next part is to capitalize on every opportunity that comes in. That is by having everybody aligned to one single focus. Okay, a business plan removes all the disparity that you have between all the employees and focuses them on one single goal. So if the company's goal is to maximize the sale of a certain product, the business plan is devised in a certain way to maximize that product so that these employees have no confusion. Whether it is the production department, whether it is the sales department, whether it's the customer service department or the shipping department, everybody will focus on leveraging the premium product. Because if that is the goal given by the company, everybody will align to that goal. So by taking that approach, we make sure that all the employees are focused on one common goal, and we make sure that we focus and deliver the right goal at the right time. Now, what tends to happen normally in an organization is that every department has their own KPIs, which is key performance indicators, and they are measured on that indicator as a performance, right? A guy says, I hit 100% of my KPI. You can't hold fault. He's done his job, right? But the danger of having individual KPIs without aligning them to the company goal is that a department may do very well. The end result may not be achieved, because even if one department fails in the whole supply chain, the end result is going to be an unhappy customer, right? So as long as you're focusing on one common goal, your KPI should be built top down. From the common goal, you build a KPI saying, to achieve that common goal, what should be my KPI? How should I devise my KPI in a way that I will achieve what the company wants me to deliver? So irrespective of whether you have hit your KPI or not, the company goal will be achieved because your KPI has been linked to the final end goal. Now, even if you've reached 80% of your KPI, that may be all that is required from your department, as long as another department is able to absorb the shock, right? So the biggest and the most important result that you can bring from a business plan is alignment. Okay, the biggest issue that every business has is disalignment, miscommunication, or lack of communication, or lack of direction. So that is the biggest thing you solve when you have a plan written down, plans and goals made with a centralized evaluation. The management gives you direction and you break it down to each department, that everybody has clarity and no one can tomorrow come back and say, I did not know, because his deliverable is clearly measured. The expectation from him is clear. It's also going to help the employee, because tomorrow when you want to hold people accountable, you can clearly go back and say, this is the plan that the company gave me to do and I've achieved it, right? So that in a way helps the employee also improve his capability and his output. He is able to manage a better output and become more efficient because he doesn't have to stretch himself beyond what he has to do. What tends to happen is that in an organization, a lot of strain goes on some departments. For example, you have a wrong forecast, right? There is a salesman who's made a wrong forecast. The result would be is that you would produce the wrong product, right? When the actual order comes, it will be different from the product that you have manufactured. The result is that you will have to change your production plan. You will have to make a new product again and urgently ship it to the customer at a higher logistics cost. For sure, you will not be able, you may be able to, but most likely you would not be able to deliver as per the schedule of the customer. So the customer will be unhappy. While you are serving the customer late, you are still paying a higher cost for logistics and you're disrupting your original plan by having uncertain changes. So the goal is to make sure that everybody, starting from the starting point of forecasting all the way down to implementation of the plan, everybody is clear what they have to do to achieve the final goal. So whether I do my job right or wrong, whether I do it more or less, I have to make sure that the customer receives the product on time and receive the product that he wants on time, not what I make or what I give. So that is the second major thing that it does, is it aligns everybody to deliver on the company's final goal, that is the serving the customer on time.
Doesn't it mean that right from top to the bottom, every single individual should know the vision of the company?
Absolutely.
So that,
yeah. Sorry, please go ahead. I cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like a vision of the company, so that everybody gets alignment with that. Otherwise, as you said, one department must have done extremely well, and if the other person is too low, it doesn't matter. It is like a person perfectly all right with one hand handicapped, one leg handicapped, or that sort of the handicap, which never becomes a full-fledged body. And the other thing I could visualize is if the alignment is not right, if a person going for an eye surgery because he has a vision problem on his left eye, and the doctor does the surgery on the opposite eye, okay, he loses the sight of both. So that would be the real effect if the departments are not aligned to the end of that vision of the top vision of the company. It looks very simple, but it has to go into everybody's mind and heart that they should work for an aligned process that takes you getting for the whatever like you want to achieve your end result. Yeah.
You're absolutely right, Captain. See, as I say, the company does not do the work. It's the people in the company who deliver on the results.
Exactly.
Right. So as you said, every employee, whether he is the lowest cadre in the organization, all the way up to the owner of the company, need to be aligned. There cannot be a misalignment, and it's very difficult to establish in large organizations because there is no direct contact between the owner and the lowest cadre. Right. So as you diffuse information on each stage of your management, there is loss of information and interpretation of information, which causes miscommunication and causes confusion. So in a business plan, it is a business plan that is broken down into different levels from the top. So when you're breaking it down, the information given to you is still aligned to the common goal. So you don't need to worry about what is the goal of the organization, because your goal has already been set to deliver on the company goal. This ensures that all the alignment takes place irrespective of whether I'm aware of what is the business plan of the organization, because that is the way the whole business planning process works.
Yeah, that's awesome, Glenn. And what is the final problem fixing solution?
It's not the final, but the third most important, in my opinion, is how to make more money, which is what all businesses are there for, right? So the business plan at any moment of time is grounded in finance. So what normally happens in a business plan is that people make it a wish list. People say, I have a dream. I would like to have this dream become a reality, but they don't ground it in hard facts, right? Because you always try to make the numbers match your dream. That's a human tendency that, oh, I have a dream. So I want to make sure that the dream is matching what I'm saying. So I will make the numbers match my dream. But in a business planning process, it's a neutral process that is done in a way that you do not have inputs from one organization. You have business information coming across all departments and are put together as one model. So there is less likelihood of wrong information being provided. So in this process, what happens is that everybody's input comes in with a brutal truth, as they call it, that I am giving an input that this is my supply cost, right? It's not an interpreted or assumed cost. It is a cost that is coming from the supply department. The salesman is saying, this is the price I can sell the product. You don't put your own assumed selling price. The salesperson will say, I can sell only this volume of product. So you don't interpret a very high sale when there is no market demand. The same way the cost of logistics comes from the logistics department. So every decision and every activity that happens in a business planning process is brought back to the financial evaluation, and the decisions are expected to be taken with a financial basis. Okay, you are supposed to make this business plan yield results in numbers of profit. That is the whole intent of the business plan. It doesn't matter how effective your business plan is. You may say, I have a very effective business plan. But if you're losing money, it doesn't matter how great your business plan is. It could be the most sophisticated, most detailed plan that you have done. But the result would be that you have actually done a plan that is not going to result in the profit that the company needs to make. So to every planning professional that I have worked with, and even myself, when I have gone to present to the management, I've gone with them with a number saying, this is going to be the return on interest. This is going to be the profit you're going to make. It has always been related that you do this, you get this. You do this, you lose this. Because from the management perspective, that is what they should expect from the organization. They should expect that you deliver a certain amount of return on their investment, right? Finally, we are all running organization to pay our stakeholders and pay our shareholders the dividend, and we make profit too, and we grow, right? So if we do not effectively run our business and do not run the process in a way that we yield those profit, there is no point in having any great business, right? To give you an example of how it could go wrong, when I started doing my planning journey, okay, I was fresh out of a training where I was given all the theory of a business plan. This is how you should do a business plan. This is how you demand plan. So the various segments of theory was what I learned. And honestly, that time I did not have the experience, which I learned the hard way through this experience. So I went, implemented the plan. So I went, sat down with the department and said, this is what business planning is. We're going to do this, 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 this. You do a forecast, you do a supply forecast, you do a shipment planning, you do a production planning, we'll make profit. I mean, a very idealistic approach to business planning, which unfortunately never turned out the way it was expected to do, because all the participants were of the assumption that they should give the best picture, right? The salesman said, I can sell out the production. You say how much you can produce. The production was saying, tell the salesman to give me a forecast, because they never do the numbers they say they forecast. Okay, the logistic guy is saying, you tell me what is the equipment I need to bring. I do not know the equipment that is required, because every month you say something and you bring something else. And I was confused. I was like, this is supposed to work, right? This is a process that is supposed to work and supposed to yield results. And then I quickly realized is that whatever decisions we are making is an idealistic approach to planning, which is a danger of business planning too. If you don't root it in brutal facts, you will end up in having a negative result or a wrong result. It will not be the result you expect to have. So what I did then is that I got the help of the finance department and said, I am going to give you all the numbers that I'm getting from the different departments. You evaluate and tell me, is this going to result with a profit or not? Of course, the numbers came showing great profit, and it showed like a 30% profit from the earlier month. So I went back to the sales team and said, are you sure you are going to bring this volume? The salesman said, no, hold on. I may bring this sales number. I may get this price. I said, we are not in the business of may, right? We are in the business of what we can do. oh, if you want to know what I can do, then I have to revise all my numbers. So then we went back through a process of getting the participants to understand what they really have to deliver is the closest picture they have of reality. It would still be inaccurate, right? There would not be an accurate picture that you can paint all the time. But the accurate picture you can paint is your knowledge at the moment of doing the forecast. So we got them aligned. The same thing we did with the supply department, the same with the logistics department. And then we went back to the finance team and said, here are the numbers we feel we can do. What is the numbers now? And then we had a different profit number that was given to us, which looked realistic. And then we said, let us paint two different scenarios. One, that if things go as per what the very optimistic view of the sales team, right? What would be the number was X, so many $1 million. The number which they came, the second number was another number. And I said, assuming from this certain market is a risk, what is the risk in the past that these markets did not take the product they promised? And we made a third scenario, right? By this, what we did, we prepared the organization for any scenario that came up, that we will reach a realistic number in any scenario. So if I do this, I will receive X amount of profit. If I do Y, I will receive this amount of profit, and Z, I will receive this profit. So the management had clear plans in place for every scenario, and we talked in terms of profit. That is the central part of business planning, is that you need to ensure that you are relating your plans and your strategies to deliver a certain amount of profit to the organization. And that is very difficult to predict. And that is what business planners aids the most of all, is to help the company make a better profit. So this was the third major problem I think that business planning solves. And my experience is that it also brings the best value to the organization.
Yeah, that's really an eye opener, because basically everybody knows that the business is to make money. But many times what happens, there are a lot of other components like fashion, some like social service, so many things get into like they take disadvantage position for the owner, but they take advantage position for projecting yourself as a big person or something. End of the day, you get into the loss. Okay. And I could visualize one more thing is, even the people who are planning the financial aspect should be pragmatic. They should be practical in evaluating the realistic the numbers, and those people should have a clear understanding about the business. Sometimes what happens, the people in the finance department may not be knowing what the reality is on ground, and so they sit in some place, action happening another place. That again, as you said, that the second point of that alignment with the thing may not happen internally also. It is not only the alignment with the other opportunities or something. If the alignment between the financial concept and the reality, we get misguided. And it's a valuable three thing I could take away is that the first one is getting all the information, be informative, and make use of the exact resources in a proper way. The second one is align yourself with your process, everything, so that the vision is clear for everybody. And the third one is the financial concept, which is end of the day, business is like how much you made at the end of it for yourself, for your ventures all into your partners and all these things, and the customer. It's like a win-win-win for everybody. It's really brought nice this thing, Gren, and probably we can check with our viewers if they have any of again any doubts to clarify. Gren will be very great, happy, and to clarify our doubts.
I don't see any questions, Captain. So we will leave the recording for them to drop any questions they have in the comments box, and I will respond to them on the FB or on the YouTube when I post these video.
Yeah, okay? That's really great, Gren. This valuable three problem fixing this thing as the priority on priority basis, and probably it's on a longer run. And I hope whatever you said, you have some systematic way of guiding, educating, coaching people who really need this support. I think you have those systems to help the entrepreneur or businessman to actually implement whatever you taught, right, Gren? If somebody
Absolutely.
wants a help, you are ready to help them out, right?
Absolutely. As I said, see,
Yeah.
business planning by itself is a tool to aid businesses make profit. That is the main goal of business planning. So that is the intent of the process in the very first place. So there are specific tools to address each of the problems and the specific processes to be followed to ensure that you achieve the goals you want to achieve. So that goes without saying that without that, you will not be effective. So
Exactly.
yes, there are specific
Yeah.
tools to solve the problem.
Exactly. I think people should make use of these tools and taking advantage of the facilities available, so that end of the day, as you said, making money in a right way, in a planned way. And really, thank you so much, Gren. It was a lovely session we had. A lot of insights into the entrepreneur mindset, that anything can be done provided it's done in a planned way. Okay, it is not
Absolutely.
like a plan is not everything, but planning is everything, like the concept. Thank you so much, Gren. It was a great evening session, and hope those who are viewed or going to view will get definitely benefited from this session.
Thank you, Gavin. It was great talking to you too. Have a safe trip and see you back next week.